Hey, what is going on, everyone? It's me, Mr. Mario. This right here is my dog Lily, as you can see, and this is Thrifty Gaming Pickups. This is episode 31. You know, I haven't been saying the episode titles, well, episode numbers for a while, unfortunately. Oh, well, I'll have to, start reminding myself to do that now. Anyways, this is a series I do with my dog Lily right here, where I go through and I take, some stacks of games and other gaming-related things that I might pick up. Right here, it's, I'd say games, a game-related thing, and something kind of, sort of, could be gaming-related. And this will be a good photo. Lily, there. You're looking kind of high. She was looking high. Look at her. Anyways, what I do is I do every episode with my dog Lily right here, ever since episode 1. If you're interested in pickup videos like this, where it's just, kind of unscripted, I go through all the stuff I purchased, tell stories, and talk about how much I paid for it, I welcome you to subscribe to this channel here. If you're wanting some stuff that's a little more refined, you might want to see what I do with some of this stuff, and something with a little bit of Lily and a lot more of a modding twist, check out my main channel. It's down below in the description, Mr. Mario 2011. She smells something really nice on that guidebook, doesn't she? Yes, she does. Yes, you do, Lily. Alright, well, let's go ahead, sit down on the floor here. Oh, Lily, you kind of licked it a little bit, actually. All right, I guess if it tastes good, you're the dog here, so let's go ahead and see what I got with everything. So first of all, I guess let's take the stuff that Lily was kind of sniffing and looking at. First of all, if you've been watching the channel for a bit here, I guess Thrifty Gaming Pickups, Lily can stop looking at the guidebook. You can't even read. Anyways, what I like to do is when I find some blank DVDs or blank CDs or just like good blank media around town, I like to generally pick it up, especially if it's something like this, where this is an old style. This is, I guess, dead stock, I guess you can call it, but older Sony DVD minus R media. And the reason why I picked this up is because, one, it's normally quite cheap. I mean, look at that. This was the price I paid. I paid a total of $5 for this, or actually I think it was even pretty sure this was half off, in all honesty. So this was $250. Yeah, I paid $250 for this for 25 discs, brand new. And on top of that, whenever I do need optical media, yes, it's 2019, I still use optical media here and there, mainly for older game systems and all that stuff if I'm messing around with things. I always notice that the older, old new stuff, or just older media that I can pick up, older blank media, so dead stock media like this, generally seems to perform better than the blank media that I'll go out and buy brand new. On top of that, brand new blank media that I pick up now, a lot of it is really, kind of just rebranded junk, in all honesty. Like, for example, these Sony DVDs, these are definitely going to be official Sony. Like, if I pop them into ImageBurn, look at the disc ID, they will be Sony. If I go out and buy some blank Sony DVDs, if I can find them, they will probably be CMC Magnetics, or maybe, I don't know, God forbid, Rytech or something, I'm not sure. Just something that would be a lot lesser quality than these right here, but it would still be branded as Sony. So that's why I generally like to pick these up, especially, again, this hasn't even been opened. I mean, that's just, it's really just dead stock at this point, but I like to pick those up when I can. Lily, you hear something, don't you? Yes, you do. Anyways, the next thing I got here from the same store, I got both of these at a thrift shop. The same thrift shop was the Grand Theft Auto San Andreas Strategy Guide, and funny enough, just right after episode 30, in the last episode, I got a Grand Theft Auto 3 strategy guide for my all-time favorite game, and on top of that, it was a guide that I did not own. I owned the Grand Theft Auto 3 PS2 guide, but the one I picked up in the last episode was for PC. Now, this one right here, I'm not sure if the difference is on it yet, but I do own this guide. I at least owned it. I'm thinking, actually. I did. I grabbed it. I remember picking it up. I don't see it in my collection, so I have to probably dig around for it or make sure I didn't sell it. But either way, I picked up this guide, I remember, day one for PS2. But this one I do not own because apparently they made this exclusively for Xbox and PC. What is the difference on this one? I honestly have no idea. So I guess, I'll have to take a look at one point and see what the difference is. That freaked Lily out, my goodness. All right, and you're gonna go into the corner? All right. Well, you know what? We made it about 5 minutes in this episode for you to get into the corner. All right, that's fine. You'll just stay there. I can get in front of everything a little easier. But anyways, I don't know what the difference is on this. I haven't run it by Vadim M. I guess I can run it by him. But I did pay half price on this. They did mark this up quite a bit, honestly, for $9. So I paid half off. It was, $4.50 at that point. So can't really complain all too much. But yeah, grab both of these two from the same shop in one foul swoop. Funny enough, also the same shop I got the Grand Theft Auto 3 guide from. So maybe in the next episode, I'll show you all a Vice City guide. I don't know. That's the only one I'm missing now from the same shop of the 3D Grand Theft Auto series. Anyways, let's go ahead and move over here. Now, I'm done with the thrift shop stuff, but this is stuff that I've picked up from a local shop that I found. I went to get a haircut a few weeks ago, and there was a shop that I had seen that I'd never looked at before, so I decided to stop in, and lo and behold, they had a little bit of everything, including video games. So, thankfully, this was easy enough to remember. Now, I felt like these were fairly priced for the most part. Again, not all these are going to be thrift store prices, so don't expect me to pay like $2 or $3 for every single thing in this stack. Again, there's one thing that is the most expensive out of everything by a good margin, but I'll have an explanation for that. But either way, let's see what we got here. So first of all, I got Dave Mirra Freestyle BMX for the original PlayStation. I don't think I even played this one. I played Dave Mirra 2, but not the first one. Rest in peace, Dave Mirra, though. Felt like it'd be good to have this in the collection, so now I have both of his games in my collection. And funny enough, I was actually messing around with this. So in case you don't know, I do a podcast called Mod Chat with one of my friends, and my co-host is named Devin, or Paranoid Coder. And we were messing around with this game because I was messing with a jailbroken PS4 that I own, and you can run PSX IT Arch on there, which is Arch Linux designed for the PS4, specifically the V2 variant of it. Either way, though, it was cool because it has PCSX Reloaded, or PCSX it has a PS1 emulator. And I figured you could probably do this because the disk drive worked on it. So I was able to actually just take this disk out, and it was the nearest disk to me, so that's why I tried it. But I was able to take this disk out and pop it into my PS4 and then run it through the emulator. So I guess I wasn't too surprised, but it did make me happy because it wasn't recognizing it. I mean, it's not recognizing it as a PS1 game. To the emulator, to the PS4, of course, PS1 games don't run natively, but to the emulator, it was just looking for a series of files, which that's exactly what this is at the end of the day. It's a CD-ROM with a series of files on it, which are readable by pretty much any computer CD-ROM drive. So it was cool that I was able to. I even put up like a little video on Instagram about it. But it was just really cool being able to take a PS1 game from the disc, pop it into my PS4, and play it on there. And for anybody who might be getting super excited about it, unfortunately, the big thing with the emulator, I know this is kind of getting off on a tangent, but that's just how this series goes. The unfortunate thing with the emulator is it doesn't run PS1 games at a solid 60 frames per second. It can run them at like 58, 59 pretty well. The problem that you run into with that is you just get frame pacing and music issues. So it's not perfect by any means, but it's definitely cool to mess around with. But yeah, that's the first game I got. Ended up getting Soul Sacrifice on the Vita. I actually owned this game. I've owned it twice. Well, shortly after I got my Vita, I picked up, and that was $3, by the way. $3 for that. Anyway, shortly after I got my Vita, I ended up picking this up at GameStop on sale, probably for like $20 or so. And then that same month, I had PlayStation Plus, and they gave it out for free on there. And then I returned it to GameStop because it was a used copy, and I was like, yeah, they kind of put it up for free on PlayStation Plus, so I don't need the physical one anymore. Now, years later, I do like having a physical Vita collection. It's not big, but I'm proud of what I have. So, found this for $10. Figured, why the hell not add it to the collection? And I do have it backed up digitally and all that as well, too, but still, nice to have a physical copy of it. Got some PSP games here. Ratchet & Clank, Size Matters. I actually had a demo disc of this, but I never had the full game. And it is based on this here. It seems to be complete. It seems to be in really... Yeah, look at that. Came with everything. It seems to be in really nice shape as well. Pretty much most of these were. Daxter on the PSP. I had this game. Loved it. Thought it was great. Paid $4.29 for it. Why that weird price, I have no idea. Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine. Finally added this to the collection here. I guess I've had it at one point, got rid of it, you know, $3, picked it up again. This was actually, I guess when it comes to modding, this is actually a game that I had really looked into, because this is one of the first games that came out on XGD3 format. So little history time for you all. And you know what, if you want to know more about modding stuff, you want to get into tutorials and all that, again, nice plug for my main channel. But XGD3, in case you do not know, if you weren't around the Xbox 360, I would say late 2011, that sounds about right. Xbox games are labeled as XGD. That's Xbox Game Disc. Xbox 360 games were XGD2. Xbox Game Disc 2. Pretty standard. Around mid to late, well, I would say mid 2011, they started testing XGD3, which Xbox Game Disc 3, but that's not for the Xbox One, which you might be thinking. XGD3 is actually for the Xbox 360. Essentially, it's good for developers, and it was good for Microsoft. For developers, it allows them to have access to about another almost gigabyte worth of data storage for their game that they can squeeze on there. While as for Microsoft, it ended up really buffing up the anti-piracy protection on there. In short, then instead of essentially every Xbox 360 game, this is a good example. I think when I ripped this, I did rip these over. This game is like a Wave 1 or Wave 2 game. Games would have, you know, their own stealth sectors, their own PMI sectors, but when it came to waves, that was essentially the anti-piracy they were using on XGD2. Every game, so like every game that was Wave 2 had the same DVD video buffer, I guess you can explain on there. With XGD3, it ended up being a little bit more dynamic, where every single game essentially had its own anti-piracy protection. So for example, like let's say if these two games were the same wave, and by the way, I picked this up for $5. Let's say if these two games were in the same wave setup, then you could just, you know, you could use the same video file between the two, patch it onto the ISO when you ripped it, and it was fine. While as for XGD3, every single game had its own individual video file. On top of that, they also allowed extra protections in there too, and extra anti-piracy checks. So this might answer the question for some people. If you've never messed around with Xbox 360 modding, if you noticed, starting with mini games you might have picked up in like 2012, 2013 or so, and then you compare them with older games. With older games, you install the game to your hard drive. I was one of those people that did that. You install the game to your hard drive, and then when you pop in the game, that's it. You pop in the game, it spins for like 5 seconds, and then it stops because you're running the game off the hard drive. XGD3 games, you pop it into your system, install it to the hard drive, play the game, the disc spins for about 5 minutes, and then it quiets down once you get in game. The reason why it's doing that is because when it's doing that spinning, essentially the disc is, I mean, it's literally spinning and running at that point, but it's doing extra anti-piracy checks to verify that the disc you have installed and popped into your 360 is a legitimate disc. And essentially, if it passes, then the disc quiets down, it stops spinning. But if it fails, then you end up getting an error saying it's some type of disk unreadable error. So that brought in a whole other aspect there. There's only, I believe, to date, 2 games that really use those extra integrity checks. There were good ways and bad ways to burn your game. So if you burn a game improperly, you could get the dirty disk error or the disk unreadable error. But for the actual full integrity checks I'm talking about, the only 2, to my knowledge, that really utilized them were Forza Horizon 4, not Forza Horizon, Forza Motorsport 4, and Dragon's Dogma. And I don't even think the first one was it XGD? I don't remember. It was one of the Dragon's Dogma games. I think it was actually the first Dragon's Dogma, not Dark Arisen for whatever reason, but the first one did. So there, I don't know. Whenever I have a chance to talk about odd modding, things like that, I like to discuss them, and I can get all into the burning and process of all that. My point is, that's why this game is memorable and near and dear to me. This and Gears of War 3 I did a lot of tests with in terms of XGD3. So, because those were a couple of the first XGD3 games that were, you know, really popular. Anyways, this game had never played before, decided to pick it up by Atlas. Surprisingly, if you can find an Atlas game for cheap, hey, that's awesome. I'm not saying every single game is by Atlas is expensive, but they don't like to press a whole lot of copies, and maybe I should cover that image up right there just so anyone in Germany can safely watch this video. If you already saw that, I'm sorry, but hey, you know what? It's all good. This seems to be an interesting game, though. Pick that up. Here, I remember renting this from Blockbuster back in the day, and I enjoyed it for what it was. It's not a very good game, it's okay, but Test Drive Off-Road Wide Open for the Xbox, $5. Secret Weapons Over Normandy. This seems to be by Totally Games and published by LucasArts, so hoping it's good. I really don't know too much about it. I just noticed I got 2 World War II style games. I don't really pick up World War II games. Interesting. I got this, and in case you don't know, I got Operation Darkness, so. But got this for $5. Metroid Other M. For some reason, this game is cheap on the Wii. I'm not sure why. I know the Metroid Prime... Is it the trilogy, or was it Echoes? There's one Metroid Prime game on Wii that's quite expensive, and it ended up getting repressed and all that. But yeah, Metroid Other M for $5. Figure, you know what? This is worth adding to the collection. This was the most expensive game I ended up getting. This is Champions of Norath. I've heard excellent things about it. I know from Epos Vox, he had good things to say about it. It was either him or one of his homies who was on a video about PS2 games that he did. MVG, shout out Modern Vintage Gamer, he also had very good things to say about it, and he did a live stream of it a while ago as well too, like over a year ago or something. But this seems to be, you know, a dungeon crawler type game. Never played it before. I've seen it so many times. And over the past year or two, there's been several opportunities I've had to pick it up, and it's always about $25-$30. And I noticed that that's just, honestly, that's about the going rate of it. So I paid $25 for this. It's not a good price. Like, it's not a good price. It's not a bad price. It's what it is worth. But from what I understand, it's a really good game. It's just seems to be worth about $25 right now. So you can find it for under $25. You're getting a good deal. And one other thing I want to say on this, actually, this seemed to have arisen in price then, or I guess appreciated, that's the proper term, because this game did sell enough to become a greatest hits game, which meant at one point it was selling for $20 brand new. So going used for $25 now, that's, it rose up a little bit. And finally, the last game I end up getting from this place is Kessen for the PS2. I remember this as, well, epic real-time strategic warfare. I remember playing this. I enjoyed it. I just noticed this. Wait. That's cute. Unleash the power of DVD for the PlayStation 2. Beautiful, rich environments and ultra-detailed, storied characters will dazzle the eyes and imagination. This game, yeah, this game is from 2000. All right, that explains why it has that. They were really taunting the PS2, well, really flexing, I should say, the PS2's just capabilities and everything, and technology. And just to double check, they did not lie. That is on a DVD. It would have been really funny if that was on a CD-ROM, but alas, it is not. So all these games, you know, I got them. They seem to be in pretty good shape, except the worst one is maybe Norath right here. But they're all in good shape. All complete as well, too. I'd say, you know, for the prices I paid, I'm not mad. And even, again, the most expensive one I got there, if I could have found Champions of Norath at a thrift store, oh my goodness, I would have loved that. But, you know, my years of thrift store shopping, I have not found it at a thrift store, unfortunately. And again, if you can find it for under $25, you're getting a good deal on it. Lily, what do you think? This dog is getting way too sleepy. But it's okay, we have one more stack to get through. This is a smaller haul than normal, and I don't mind that as much, just because I wanted this to be a bit of a shorter episode, but with me talking about XGD3 and all that, it wasn't a short episode. Anyways, right here, my last haul is all from half-price books, as you can see. I went to the clearance section at one of them, and, you know, I recommend, if you got a half-price books nearby, check out their game section. It might surprise you. And generally, they have pretty good stuff. And pretty good condition stuff is what I mean. So, Virtua Tennis 3. Paid $2 for this on PSP. Never played it, but cool to add to the collection. Nice to have, you know, a decent amount of PSP games here. The Last of Us on PS3. $3. At this price, I said, why not? This I was happy to have added in, especially at this price too. Resident Evil on the Wii for $7.49. Generally this game goes for $10-15 or so, and I think this was 15, but they end up dropping the price down to $7.49, so I decided to pick that up. Definitely can't wait to, play through this at one point. Although, am I going to play through this version or am I going to play through the GameCube version? Because I do have both. I'm going to ask you all, leave it in the comment section, which version would you recommend more of Resident Evil? The PS1 version? Well, not PS1, excuse me. I guess if you want to say that, you can. But I guess I'm trying to compare the GameCube version or the Wii version. Which would be the one that you would go through, or why would you recommend that version? I guess that's what I want to know. Tony Hawk's Project 8 for $2 on PS2. To date, I still have not played this game. I have heard, back in the day, I heard not good things about it. I remember one of my friends, this came out when I was in 6th grade, I want to say, and a buddy of mine had it, and he was going to be staying over at my house, and he mentioned it, and I think I even asked, because we were talking about, games he should bring over to my place, and I asked about Project 8, and he's like, oh, no, man, that game is junk. It's like, it's broken and stuff, and that's really all I know about it, so... It's junk and it's broken and stuff. That's what he told me, all right? That's what he told me. I don't know if anyone else can tell me anything different. Another Tony Hawk game I have never played, and that was $2, by the way, if I didn't say it. Tony Hawk's Proving Ground, again for $2. This is also a later PS2 release as well because it has one of these covers that, the DVD's in the middle and just has the PlayStation logo right there, as opposed to one of these covers that has the nice memory card holder. I love those memory card holders. Anyways, what year did this come out? 2007, yep, so one of the later releases for the PS2. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Wait a minute, I just realized, even though this is Call of Duty 4, it's not called Call of Duty 4 on the Wii. It's called Call of Duty Modern Warfare Reflex Edition. $2. This is my all-time favorite multiplayer game, and the campaign's great on there too, but my all-time favorite multiplayer game, I said for $2, you know what, why the hell not? And funny enough, let me get into it after I do this. I got another Call of Duty game. Call of Duty World at War for $3 on the Wii. So $5 for, this is my favorite Call of Duty game to date, my favorite multiplayer one at least. And this is probably my least favorite Call of Duty game to date. But I said, you know what, they're both cheap, they run on, they play about the same, and I want to try them out on Wii. Funny enough though, I wanted to bring this up. You see how both of these say Nintendo Wi-Fi connection right here? That means that you can play them online on the Wii service. And some people might be saying, this is just another aside, some people might be saying, Mario, you can't play them. They shut down the Wii servers. Aha, but see, these two games, even though they say Nintendo Wi-Fi connection, they don't go through Nintendo services. They go through Activision services, and for whatever reason, Activision never shut down the servers for Call of Duty Modern Warfare Reflex Edition or Call of Duty World at War on the Wii. So right now in 2019, you can play both of these games on the Wii. I just find that funny. Online, mind you can play them at any time as long as you have a working Wii or an emulator available, but you can play them online is what I'm saying. To me, that's impressive. Rayman Arena on PS2. I believe I have this on GameCube already, but I did not have it on PS2, and for $2, sure, why the hell not? Counter-Strike on Xbox. So I had this question asked several episodes ago. Somebody asked me, how do you avoid buying duplicates, or how do you know what you already have? And a lot of it I kind of know off the top of my head. A lot of it is kind of, oh, I see this game. It's like, for example, I was like, oh, Rayman Arena. I have this on GameCube, but, I probably have this on GameCube, not on PS2 though. So I can kind of familiarize myself with my collection just on looks. But if there's something I'm really gunning after, if I get a lot of something at once, it's harder to take advantage of. So that's when, duplicates start happening. I bought dupes on accident and on purpose. This was a game I was surprised. So I've really been the past few years building up my OG Xbox collection, which I'm proud of. But I was shocked that I did not have this game. And what I did recently was every single original Xbox game, when I buy it, I take the disc, I pop it into my Xbox, I rip it over, I FTP it to my computer. So I have all of my discs backed up, so that way I can run them off of the hard drive on an Xbox as opposed to the disc itself. So I can preserve the collection and also have everything, be running faster and nicer and all that fun one stuff. So it works out nice enough. Anyways. One what I did was I went through, I found the folder on my computer with all my Xbox games. I got all the names of everything, dumped it into a document. I have it in a Google Doc, so that way it is so helpful, because now I go to thrift stores and I whip out my phone and I look to see, hey, Counter-Strike is on the shelf. Let's go to the C section. I don't have Counter-Strike because, again, every single Xbox game I own, I rip over to my PC. So if I don't have it in that folder and I don't have it on my PC, I don't own the game. But I've seen this game so many times, and I even borrowed it from a friend at one point. I know that for sure. And I was just absolutely shocked that I did not have it. So funny enough, I got the list. I assembled my list to avoid buying duplicates, but I've actually been picking up a few more Xbox games than normal because there's been games like Counter-Strike where I say, hey, I probably have that in my collection, and then I look and it's actually not in my collection. And just to be sure, because some people might be thinking maybe I didn't update it, no, I keep it consistently updated, and then when I go home, I look through my folder, I look through my, disc collection on the shelf, and it's not there. So, anyways, Counter-Strike for $2. That's a lot of time to talk about a game that apparently is not even that good. Apparently this port is just not very good. But I also have Half-Life 2 on Xbox, so I believe at this point I have all of the Valve games that released on the Xbox for the Xbox, which is only 2, to my knowledge, Half-Life 2 and Counter-Strike. Kane and Lynch 2 Dog Days. The first one was not good. The second one I only played for like 10 minutes, so I never got a chance to actually play it. And I own it on PC, and the shit does not work on PC. Every time I've tried it, it just does not work for me, so you know what, at least I have it on a system that I'll play it on, and I can at least give it a shot. I've heard it's an okay game, but it's much better than the first one. $2 for this. I feel like, hot take by the way, sorry before I move on to it, kind of a hot take, I feel like Kane and Lynch, just the series, a heavily recommended co-op game about two bad guys doing bad shit. I feel like this is what A Way Out was I feel like this is almost what A Way Out could have been, or how do I say this? This is like a bad version of A Way Out, I should say. Or maybe I should flip it. A Way Out, to me, seems like a forced co-op, but really good version of Kane and Lynch. Because, at least from the first Kane and Lynch, again, you're playing as Kane and Lynch, who are two bad guys doing bad shit. Just characters you can't really root for, and you're kind of just trudging through the game, and it's really recommended to play the game in co-op. You can play it in single player, though. But yeah, just kind of criminals doing criminal shit. A Way Out is the same thing, except forced co-op, better delivery, much better game. So I feel like A Way Out is like Kane and Lynch done right. That's my opinion on it. Again, I haven't played the second one. I've only played the first Kane and Lynch, and I played through A Way Out, but maybe someone can let me know if I'm incorrect. The Gunstringer on Kinect, Xbox 360 Kinect, mind you. $2 for this. Don't really know much about it, but hey, cheap Kinect game. Borderlands 2 on the Xbox 360. Decided to pick this up, add it to the collection again because it was only $3. Fight Night Round 4. I played Fight Night Round 3 for the achievements back in the day when I was really a big achievement whore. And I did the GameStop rental on that. I remember it was like $15-20 at GameStop. I bought it used. I played through it in about 5 or 6 days and returned it because you have a 7-day policy to return used games. So I did the GameStop rental, got my 1,000 gamer score. Apparently Fight Night Round 4 is a lot better, but it's not as easy to get 1,000 gamer score in it, because Fight Night Round 3, you just turn the difficulty down to the easiest possible, play through the game one time, and you get all the achievements. So, in case anybody out there's wanting easy achievements, get that. But that would actually, I'd like to add that to the collection again. If I find Fight Night Round 3 for cheap, I'll pick it up. But I have Round 4 for $3. And the last game here, Darksiders 2 Limited Edition on Xbox 360 for $2. They also had the first Darksiders on 360 for like, I want to say it was $2 or $3. I decided not pick that up because I actually do own that. So that was a time where I said, hey, you know what? I am fully aware I have a duplicate of this, so I'm not going to pick this up. I also, funny enough, I have these on PS4. I have at least, do I? I'm pretty sure. I have
quite sure I have both of them, actually, yeah, on PS4. Because I was just thinking, I know one of them is technically a dupe because I have a physical of it, and then I also got it digitally. But, you know, I said for $2, why not have both of them on the 360? Although, funny enough, I'm kind of waiting for the Switch version. I know Darksiders 3 just came out. Barely anyone knew about it. It really didn't get that much fanfare. And the people who did play it said, it was okay. Wasn't as good as the other two. It was okay. But I know the first Darksiders is supposed to be War Mastered. That's how they say it instead of remastered. But it's supposed to be remastered and released on the Switch. Darksiders 2 has to follow right after that. So because the Switch is my preferred platform right now, I'll probably just, you know, wait to play it on there. I need to play through the first one before I even play through this. But funny enough as well, kind of have another question to ask you all. When I played, I didn't play through the first Darksiders, but I played an okay amount of it. It felt like Zelda to me, funny enough. I had recollections of like Ocarina of Time when I was playing through it. I just want to know if anyone else had kind of the same feeling where it felt a bit like a Zelda game. I don't know. That was just me. Anyways, these are all the games that I ended up grabbing from, what was the store? Half Price Books. I nearly forgot it. And here's all the thrift shop games. Not the thrift shop games, excuse me. That was the thrift shop stuff. That was all the game store stuff that I picked up. So all in all, I'd say for here, I actually forgot that every single game I picked up, well, except for Resident Evil. Resident Evil was the only one. Every single game was a clearance game, so I felt like I did pretty good on the prices there. Felt like the prices were, you know, either really good or fair on these here. And then, of course, you know, maybe the only possibly overpriced thing would be the Grand Theft Auto San Andreas book. But I'm saying overpriced because that's, you know, $9 for a book from a thrift store. Normally they're, you know, a lot less. Yeah, anyways, that is it for this episode of Thrifty Gaming Pickups. I hope you all enjoyed it. That is episode 31 all wrapped up. If you enjoyed this video, a like would absolutely be appreciated. If you didn't like it, a dislike is fine as well too. Again, if you want more episodes and videos like this, I'd recommend subscribing to this channel. If you want some more refined videos where I'm not going to ramble as much, hopefully, but stuff where, again, I might actually use this stuff here and there, and it will still be gaming focused, but with, you know, modding and check as well too. You might see Lily here and there. Check out the main channel, Mr. Mario 2011, down below in the description. Anyways, this is Mr. Mario, signing off. Thank you all for watching, everyone. Again, if you enjoyed this video, a like would be appreciated. If you didn't like it, a dislike is fine as well too, but as I always warn you all, every single time, if you dislike the video, you're going to make this dog very, very sad. So sad.